Heyo, Outliers. John K. Coyle is a former Olympic level speed skater who shattered US records not by fixing his weaknesses, but by designing everything around his strengths. And he turned that into a body of work and 5 TEDx talks that made him one of the world's leading voices on human potential. He came and wanted to quadruple his speaking, but the planet's foremost expert on playing to your strengths was chasing this goal by grinding against his own. So, what happens when the master finally decides to take his own medicine? Let's get into the room and find out. Hello there, Outliers. Niiamah Shang here. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey here today. We have an incredible treat for you because today we're going to have a conversation that stretches your thinking and puts you in the place to be able to expand what you might normally look at as a day-to-day thing and actually bring you in a position to look at it with new perspective and vantage. We get a chance to talk to John K. Coyle today. John, I'm really excited for you to be here. Thank you so much for being the outlier in the world to make this come to life. I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for having me, Niiamah.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a wonderful conversation. I want to make sure the outliers get a chance to get to know you, and then we'll move into some co-creation together. So, would you mind sharing more about you and the game you're currently playing in the world?
Sure. I grew up in Michigan. Grew up on lakes that froze in the winter. Ended up becoming a speed skater and a cyclist, but speed skating is my primary sport. And I managed, while at Stanford as a senior, to get 12th place in the world in the sport of speed skating. So I thought I could go from 12th to 6th to 1st in the 2 years I had to prepare. And this weird thing happened. The team put me on a program of fixing my weaknesses, and I went from 12th to 34th to not making the team 2 years later, finishing 30th in the US trials that I won 2 years prior. But this relates to one of my talks. This is where I decided to double down on my strengths. I had to figure out what they were, which I did know, and then I trained for the whole next year by myself, doubling down on my strengths in the same exact meet, same people, same structure. First race back in a sport where hundreds determined first from second. I broke the US record by 5 seconds, the world record by a second, set every single US record back to back. And the point of that origin story is that part of what I talk about is how do you design your life for your strengths and design around your weaknesses rather than fix them.
Oh, John, we're gonna have some fun. I found myself just one, I subscribe. Like just I subscribe to this here. The biggest like periods of deceleration in my life has come from when I feel like I should get better at someone else's game the way that they
Right.
think it should be, as opposed to being the best at the game that only I can play. And I feel like that's a bit of how I'm interpreting what you're saying, but like it
100%.
is so aligned here. You talked about like you said you have your talk. So tell us a little bit more about your talk. Like what do you do with this now?
So for that particular talk, which is the first of two, and we'll get into the other time component here in a second, because they're related,
Mm,
actually. Oddly, the
mm.
origin story for that talk also comes from my time in sports. But the Design for Strengths talk, which is also the name of my book on Amazon, is really helps companies bring me in, individuals, groups, companies that bring me in, help them figure out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, because they tend to be facets of the same thing, which is hilarious. Because I have my own assessment, and so if you're creative, you're probably disorganized. If you're detail oriented, you're probably a perfectionist. If you're calm, you're probably unemotional. If you're blunt and rude, if you're direct and honest, you're probably blunt and rude. I could go on all day, but the point being, the cost of entry to most people's strengths is an associated weakness, and you got to find a place where that weakness doesn't matter and where your strength is valued.
That makes me smile here. So, John, what you just talked about, I've often the words that I use like it's the dark sides of your gifts from what I played. So, what are your gifts, and what's the dark side of it? I heard that from my coach originally. So when I hear that, it's like the double-edged sword or whatever it is that's out there, right? And the reason I started laughing was the when you said like you had to put yourself in places where it doesn't matter. And I was like, oh, that's what this is,
Yeah.
like I'm like, oh, I'm not good at editing. I'm not good at like overly planning, doing research, all this stuff. I'm like, I just need to meet someone in the moment and be in a place where that doesn't matter. I've never really considered it that way. So I'm taking that in right now and being like, oh, what other things should I just be like getting rid of so that I can go spend more time in the places where my weaknesses don't really make that big of a difference, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic here. So like I want to know about the time thing. So
Yeah.
like tell
So
us more about that.
the orchestra and antecedents are somewhat the same in sports, particularly my sport, but lots of sports, most sports other than like team sports. Hundreds of seconds, tenths of seconds determine a completely different trajectory in your athletic career, right? You made the team or you didn't. You got on the podium or you didn't. You got a gold medal or you didn't. All of those are going to be in little tiny increments of time. And so this notion that small increments of time change your future trajectory, I was like, wait a minute, this is true in real life. Like I asked her out or I didn't. I avoided the car accident or I didn't. I've got the right exit or I didn't. I took the promotion across the country or I didn't. Like all of these things happen in moments. They might be weeks and months and years leading up to it, but the reality is life is constructed of moments, literally because that's how the brain writes memories, is about every 2 to 3 seconds. So we live in a 2 to 3 second window and we're pretending that anything before or after actually matters. It doesn't, and how you plan and how you remember things. But the point being here is that, time is this amazing currency. And the Greeks figured this out years ago, 2000 years ago. They had a word for time called kairos, which they use 65% of the time when everything happens at once and the trajectory is reset. And that's those moments, right? When she says yes, that's a completely different trajectory than if she says no. By the way, the etymology of this comes from the archer releasing the arrow. You change that angle a tiny bit and you get a completely different alternate future. That's what this work is about. And ultimately teaching people how to invest their time capital, for the greatest returns. People know how to invest their money, but most people, particularly wealthy people, actually don't know how to invest their time. They think they can get great returns from low risk short term investments. Can't do that with money, and you can't do it with time either. So I'll stop talking there, but that's what my new passion project and forthcoming book is about.
Well, it's quite incredible. Like you have me thinking, you have me slowing down quite a bit here. And you said Kairos, it's when everything changes all at once and
Yeah.
what resets.
And the trajectory, your future trajectory.
Yeah, and the trajectory resets. All right, cool. So
And we can
now,
design those moments, by the way. That's the point. Like sometimes they happen, right? But a lot of times we can actually, part of what the book will be about is how do we design those moments that happen before and after that are Kairos moments that change your trajectory. And you don't have to do that every day or every week, but every once in a while you got to do it.
yeah, well, like it's so funny you say don't do it. Like you don't have to do it every day or every week. I'm like, but sign me up for that. Like, because I used to be in the past life. I was a former retirement actuary, and so like I spent time looking at. I'm oftentimes trying to understand like what does it actually mean when things change exponentially. And so when I'm hearing what you're saying, I'm seeing like the trajectory continues to change, and I'm like, oh, that's how we end up accidentally. That's how we end up at an exponential life, where it's
Right.
just like all these things start to compound. Like the fact that if it can just keep happening, one after the next, after the next, after the next, and like that's what an exponential experience is. I heard something from you.
I'm totally stealing that. I hadn't thought of
Yeah,
it that way. I mean, I
yeah.
even have a graph about this, but I've been doing it logarithmic, but really that's the compression of time most people feel is very logarithmic. The older you get, the faster time goes, right?
Mhm.
But what you're talking about is what I'm actually aiming for, which is exponential returns on your investments in time. And just like financial investments, it does make sense to invest in safety and security and low risk short term, lower risk longer term. Like you got to have some nest egg. The bird doesn't get to fly if they don't have a nest.
Yep.
Right? You can't take these kinds of risks because time investments aren't necessarily the number one driver. And we can stop talking about this, but the number one
Mhm.
driver of time expansive memories, and there's six, but this is the most important, is risk and uncertainty,
Mhm.
which everybody's designing their lives to avoid, except for maybe you and me. But this
Yeah.
entrepreneurs in general sort of get that one, but
Well, no, I love that. I'm glad you brought it in because like and so like I want to make sure Outliers know how to get the book in just a bit, but I'm glad you brought it in because I think that there's this component of it kind of also speaks to like the counterintuitiveness of like the strengths and weaknesses earlier, right?
yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you know what? The safer things are, the more certain things are, the faster that like it like for me, not only does time move fast, but like it doesn't get into the memory. I'm just like,
Doesn't get stored.
yes. I have two young children right now. They're like, time flies, and I'm like, all I want to do is be able to create as many different instances as I
Yes.
can. I don't know how much risk in like I want the uncertainty of the day to be there. I don't know if I need the risk with the children. But there's something in there where it's like, how do we continue to get these things stored in there? And like you're getting me to think in different ways just from the way the conversation started out. So John, I appreciate you. How do outliers get their hands on the first three books, this book, like look what go into a talk with you?
Yeah.
What's the way that they move deeper with you?
Yeah, so I'm a global keynote speaker. If you need a speaker, that's me. I'm easily found blog, videos, 5 TEDx talks, books. It's all at John K. Coyle, Coyle.com. That's everything's there.
Awesome. Outliers. We have our charge here. Like, let's go on this quest here. Like, you have me, thinking about time, man. And it really, like, I've been, how do I say it? I like to think I have gravitas. And like when I think about gravity, I'm like gravity has a way of warping time. And so to understand both gravity and time, I think are like the two elements of like that I really get to play with over time. So I appreciate you bringing this into my zeitgeist. I'm looking for what's the name of the book?
Uh, the
The
book,
fourth one.
book
Yeah.
is called Counterclockwise: How to Slow the Acceleration of Time.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. So, John, let's do this here. Outliers have already gotten something from this conversation, right? And so we're going to let them go over to the side, right? Well, we do things differently in this space here, and I'm excited to go and explore something new with you. All right. I always say this here, like let's put them over to the side. Outliers, like this does not have to be valuable for them. Let's make it valuable for you, and we can decide at the end of this if you want to have it released or not. All right. Let's relieve the pressure on that. To really show up for you in this conversation, I'm going to ask for three things, and you just let me know if you're in agreement with it. Okay. The first is that I'm going to hide nothing and hold nothing back. Are you good with that?
Yep.
All right, cool. The second thing is that I'm here to serve you and not please you or platform you. Are you good with that?
Yep.
All right, cool. And then the third thing is that like life-changing conversations is what I have on the regular. Talking about like the exponential changes that's here. Like for you, I think I'm going to go even beyond a life changing. I would love to like make this a Kairos moment, or at least leave the possibility of this be
Right.
a conversation where everything changes at once and trajectory
Yes.
resets, right?
Yes.
For the positive in an
Of
upward,
course.
like I don't know, when you have power or to change, like you have to make sure we're setting it there. Are you open to this being one of those positive Kairos moments for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead and play. Like, if this was going to be a life changing conversation for you, like, what would we talk about?
How does not scale is the wrong word, but
Okay.
because I don't, I'll just full disclosure, I don't have any desire to manage a team or lead a bunch of people anymore. Like
Yep.
my career from here is going to be solo or with an admin. Like that's it.
Yep.
But I would love to figure out the correct way for me to expand my speaking business from, 20, 25 paid gigs a year to 75 to 100, which is completely doable. I think I've been going about it. Well, I didn't even try for 10 years. So
Yeah.
that's my challenge.
Yeah.
Money fell from the sky. I didn't do a single thing. I didn't. Now I need to make a little bit more money because I've got a woman in my life that, she wants things. So
Yeah.
got to get some.
Yeah. If you're a leader with a track record of success and there's a vision you're ready to bring to life that feels outrageous right now, I have an invitation for you. Outlier's Edge is a world for different minded, like hearted leaders who are owning what makes them different to make a world of difference. And at the center of that world is a weekly coaching room where we bring the visions that just won't leave us alone. We get coached, stay accountable, and build alongside others, creating something different. If you're pursuing something that's too big, too early, or too improbable for most rooms, this is your room. Go to outliersedge.com/world and come in as my guest. All right, cool. Let's get you some things. Get some things. Like
I
let's
have no
play that
things
game.
currently.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. So we're playing this year. We're looking at Forex here. The
Yes.
speaking that's coming in here. Forex. Is this in the primary driver of this? Is it in the money ways? Is it in the impact ways or the number of reach? Like they're all tied together. So I just wanted to try and see like which one
From
is
a personal mission standpoint, greater reach and impact is exactly all that I'm about. So
Mhm.
that's a reason, but also there is some financial incentive
Okay.
to do so.
All right, cool.
I don't need to
All
be
right.
super rich, but
Yep. No. Let's let's. I love to make sure everything's on the table with this year. Let's go get you some. All right. Like, that's how I feel about it. Let's go get you some. All right. Cool. So like you're getting about 25 a year right now here. What would you say is like the thing that's from what you're seeing right now, like what is keeping it from? Why isn't it already at 75 gigs a year?
When I started out, it started trending that way. I think what has happened is with AI and all these other marketing systems, there's just so much noise now that I can't just and there's a lot of noise now. But the reality is 80% of I'm actually figuring this out as we go, so sorry about that. But
Yeah, no, no, you don't have to apologize at all. This is the right thing.
80% of the people that have hired me have seen me themselves. So the notion was, well, then let's go after that other, 20% and grow that. But that might be the wrong approach. I didn't do anything for 10 years. I didn't even follow with the people that hired me.
Yeah,
I was semi-retired, and that's a whole other conversation, but I did that intentionally. I wanted to have my retirement while I was young enough to run and jump off things and
yeah.
swim and do all that stuff. So I was not financially concerned about anything during those years. So yeah, I don't know what the right approach is. My newest thread, and I'll stop talking, is, first it was hiring some people to do direct marketing. That didn't lead to anything. The second was to do what I'm trying to do now, which is use my network, which I've never attempted to do. I have all these people I know, and I've never asked for help ever from anybody, but
Okay.
I don't actually know how.
Okay.
Uh, and I have a lot of people that I can call friend, or certainly strong friend acquaintance that
Yep.
could help, but I don't even know how to have that conversation yet. So that's where I'm at now.
Um,
Can I say one more thing, Niiamah?
yeah, you say as much as you want. I'm
I'm
good.
really good at what I do.
Yeah.
Like as far as I know, I've never not been the top ranked speaker at any conference for the last 10 years. So in terms of if you get me up there, it's going to happen. It's never
Yeah.
not happened. It's never broken. It's always works. So that's not the challenge, right? And also, I have 115 LinkedIn recommendations. Like I have a great set of testimonials out there,
Yeah.
but I don't know exactly what the best way to get to the 4x or more is. I really just don't know.
Yeah, there's some element in this that feels um someone said this word to me earlier, so that was stuck in my head, but like a bit basic for you. The the basic part would be like going down this in the traditional means, right? I get really curious. Well, two things. One, I don't think that like you get in four times or three times the amount of gigs you have right now, even if you went to your network, is about help. Like I think you can there's a way to have an ask out in the world, but like you don't strike me from what I'm talking listening to you like as someone who needs help. Like it's not help per se. And I wonder like if we can just like get a little bit more space around making an ask versus it being help, if that gives you some more like flexibility, creativity
Yeah,
around
like
just making that. All right.
framing that differently. And yeah, I mean, I'm just not, I don't have any, I was an athlete. You just put in the effort, you put your head down and get it done. Like that's this whole notion that my network has value is, I know this sounds crazy, but it's like 10 weeks old for me. I moved to Laguna
That's cool.
Beach because I spoke here and I met a bunch of really influential people that could help me. And I was like, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
I need to figure out this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know the game yet, but
Yeah. Well, let's see that a little bit, right? So I'm really curious about I'm less curious about what you're trying to like push right now, and more like curious about like when gigs were just like falling at you, like the world was pulling itself towards you. What was happening there? How did you have a speaking business where you weren't actually going out in the world really trying to get business?
I don't know if I know the answer to that. The talks have actually gotten better.
Hmm.
Well, one thing that's really happened is a lot of the people that were hiring me back then retired.
Hmm.
You tend to get hired at fairly senior levels at the amount that I charge, and so that's happened. Nothing was significantly different than now. We know economic uncertainty definitely leads to the pulling back on
Yeah.
discretionary spending. So that happened 2 years ago with the elections happening now.
You said 80% of the people had met you, right? Or had, like
Amy, yeah.
had seen you in person. What does that mean, seen you in person? Like, where did they know about like? Did they watch you while you were speed skating? Did they see you at
Oh
another
no,
event? Like what is
and
what
they've
is
been
it?
to a talk like, if I speak at a conference where they have, 200 CEOs
Hmm.
or CMOs or 500, executive level people. Those are the great gigs where people then reach out to me and follow up and get me booked with their companies. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So you have something that's going on for you where the thing about like the 80/20 would be like it'd be like the 80, like was it the 20% that didn't see you that paid the most, or that had like the
Oh,
largest, like it's a pairing. It's not just like the 80/20
yeah.
there. Like so like
Yeah.
just like fit like help me finish that last part. So you got 80% of the people who booked you like had seen you in person. What is that 20% like the people who hadn't seen you in person, what were they like in terms of like the goals that you have?
So 10% came from speakers agencies and they negotiated the rates given what the number I gave them.
Mhm.
So that's pretty mu mundane. And then the other
Yeah.
10% probably just came in straight in through the website.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say the speaking fees are pretty consistent across all inputs.
Okay, cool. So like, so it wasn't I was looking to see like, all right, the 80/20, with that, they'll say like, 1/5 of the thing produces 80% of the results. So checking on that. Was there, of the 80%, let me try and see that. Let's say that the 80% who found you was
Yeah.
actually the result of 20% of something, right? Like let's
Right.
play with, all right. So 20% of something resulted in 80% of the work that you got in, right? So right now, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the one thing that has been different is I don't know what changed, but I was speaking at conferences a lot
Hmm.
in the growth period when, we went from, 10 gigs to 20 to 1 year 40.
Hmm.
I was speaking at conferences more than I have been lately. And conferences is where you're basically getting paid to sell, where the entire audience can hire you. And it's been a little while since I've done a conference like that, honestly. So then the question is, how do I get more conferences? You could do them for free and probably be worth it, honestly, but I don't want to diminish my value either.
Okay. All right. We can get into the how question in a little bit, but like we'll add that as one of the things that so we have like two places right now. We have a little bit more space on one, just making the ask to your network, right? But now, even if you made the ask to your network, you can make it now with something where you're like, by the way, can you get, if you can, I'm looking to go speak at conferences versus I'm looking to just go speak. If you're trying to like, it sounds to me like you're like, there's an engine here. If I can go from one conference to the next, then that will end up being like an ongoing cycle of new things coming my way or coming
Yeah.
your way. Um, was there anything like, so like conferences right now feels like it's like the ongoing thread?
Yes, and
Hmm.
when I spoke here 9 weeks ago, which caused me to move here,
Hmm.
I met a series of highly, highly networked individuals.
Yeah.
And so uh, I'm preparing. This is my plan. I get to
Yep.
real life. My plan is to host a dinner
Nice. Oh, that's
here
good. Yep.
above the ocean
Yep. Mm,
for my highly networked new friends to have a Baudelaire style salon dinner.
nice.
We discuss a central topic for 2 hours, well, after I cook for them. And
Yeah.
this is my plan. This is my networking plan currently. Because I'm good at cooking.
Yeah.
I'm not great at small talk. And if we can have a focused discussion, then maybe I can leverage my strengths in that situation.
Yeah. So this is uh it feels like it would be a great event. I like that you're staying true with like what are your strengths in these cases here. Um there's a part of me that I like to play with people's like frameworks because my general thing is that like if we can live inside like you create a lot of success with the frameworks that have brought you success, so rather than me trying to like introduce something new, I'm like,
Yeah,
how do we just continue to tap into the things that have brought you success in the past and just do it on purpose or apply or translate it to this case, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you real quick here. Just tell me, and I'll see if we can play with this in any meaningful way. You mentioned earlier there were like six things that led to like Kairos moments or something like that, right? Bring those six in. Let's see, because like you have time on your mind right now. So like I'm like, what if there's a hidden something in there beyond the traditional like let's go get you more, like, reach out to more people. So tell me those six.
Well, the six drivers that lead to memories that have a before and after leave a mental notch that can never be erased is, and nobody likes the first one,
Yeah.
probably the most important, which is risk and uncertainty.
Yeah.
The brain wakes up to write that down and
Yeah.
releases norepinephrine, which causes chemical reaction to make sure that those are cemented.
Let's go through the bullets real quick.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Risk and uncertainty,
Yep.
uniqueness, similar
Yep.
but different, emotional intensity,
Yep.
physical intensity,
Yeah.
beauty, trauma also works, but let's not go there.
Yeah.
And getting into the flow state where you're fully immersed in the present.
All right. All right. So this gives me a sense here of, because I'm looking at this here and I'm thinking, all right, this is more about the memory. So less about like, it might be something different than where I thought it was going to be, where it was like around like creating the Kairos moments themselves. Right. I'll ask this question a little bit differently. Given what you know about, um, it's funny to me as I hear you talk about like Laguna Beach and being there like 9 weeks. I was like, did he just have another Kairos moment? Like, all was like he was doing something, and then he
Oh, I
showed
did.
up, and he's like, and now we're in this direction, right? I think the question for me is I'm thinking about this because I would like to understand those Kairos moments and see like again like play with this more and be like, okay, like what's the actual move that changes everything all at once, and changes the trajectory of things. So like I'm like, what's the trajectory that you're on right now, and what would it be like to actually change it? Like, but this is me coming from the outside, hearing just that definition. I'm curious, like you know more about like what creates Kairos moments and things like that. So if there's something in there you want to share that we might be able to unpack and see if it applies, I'm happy to go down that path.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the cusp of something,
Yeah,
and I'm trying a bunch of different ways to pull, levers that might lead to that next big thing. But the real, yeah, I'm 100% the world's leading expert in this field. I'm,
yep,
because I'm the only one. I mean, I could be
yeah,
terrible and I'd still
yeah.
be the
I
best because
I
I'm,
get you.
um, and so, people need this,
Mm,
right? And if that one interview, like I met Tim Ferriss in New York twice and he
mhm.
promised to bring me on the show, it hasn't happened yet, but like one big exposure could really lead to a fundamentally different future outcome. Like I'm sharing a stage with Oprah in a few months. So, something like that. One big breakthrough could literally change my entire life because the information, the research, I got to get the book done, fair enough. Uh,
Yeah.
but the information, the research, the data is unique to this world. And if I could get that voice out there somehow, I mean, my world could change literally overnight.
Okay, and for the better. I'm gonna keep saying that in there because I know the power of language. So it will keep changing for the
Yes.
better overnight. Like there's a lot of things we can do to just change it. Like so. With that being said, right, I'm going back actually to like you're talking about network and like making an ask and everything, right? And now I'm asking myself like, is asking like like it feels like we might be leveling up the ask to
Yeah.
what is the highest leverage like ask that if even one person came through on this, the whole thing makes sense, you
Oh my
know?
God, this is it. Like, this is it. These people can hire me, and that's great. And their networks can hire me, and that's great. And that can cascade, and that's going to be great. But these people also know all the people. So, an introduction, another introduction to Tim Ferriss, another introduction to some of the major players that could, want to talk about this. What's his name? Finding Mastery. Been working that angle for 3 years, still haven't got on with him. But a couple of these would position me as the world's. I mean, if you chat GPT it or you Google it, I am the world's leading expert in chronoshopsing. I get to say
Yeah.
that until,
Yeah.
and as long as I keep searching myself every day, it's could probably stay away for a while.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
But yeah, introduction to the people that could get my message out.
I think like the space I'm going to keep playing with you. Like we might be there, John. I think like the key part for me is you're going to make an ask here. The thing is like where does the highest leverage live in that ask, right?
I
And
think
like
an introduction to I got to make a list of the people that get get my message out the most and turn me to an overnight expert in something I'm already an expert in,
yeah,
but public awareness wise. And so, and rather than asking, hey, you've got any conferences coming up? Can you hire me?
yeah,
Like this
yeah,
is much more valuable ask, honestly,
yeah,
and it's less intrusive,
yeah,
which is even more fun.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like that's not a hard question to ask.
You feel I can get your energy around it is good. It's fun, it's light, it's
Yeah.
like you're like it's what I get about you is that like when you're out in the world doing your thing, things come to you. You're like,
Yeah.
like and so like so you talked about flow. Like I feel you more in like a flow state right now, where it's like you're not trying to figure out like what I need to say or any of that stuff. You're just like, this I can do. Like just gotta just ask for directions, of course. Got it. You know? John, I think we're there. I think this conversation. I think we're complete for this conversation here.
Figured it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's such a simple ask. And I just gotta make a list of the Tim Ferriss's equivalents.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, this is I could think of all these people that know all these people
Yeah.
that I need to kind of know.
Yeah. I'm like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like I keep saying yeah because I'm like we don't need to overcomplicate this. This
Yeah.
is like you have enough in motion. You have all the things here. You've done like this is the right time. It's the right time.
Niiamah, you married?
I am. Yeah.
Kids?
Yes. Too.
Okay, so I'll leave you with a fun piece of advice.
Yeah.
Plan a trip, don't tell them where you're going.
Mm. Okay. Okay. All
The
right.
uncertainty of not knowing actually heightens their experience of anticipating, which then it has to be a good trip, of course.
Yeah. No, I can do this. I'm like, okay. I like so what like so I went internally to see through it, and I was like, because I know my strengths and my weaknesses, right? And planning is not like my wife's got. I have really helped her hone her strength in planning.
Hire somebody to plan a
Yes,
trip for
there
you.
we go, there we go. That I can do. That feels great. John, what's been your biggest insight from today's conversation?
It's just a reminder of an insight that I've known. It's a phrase in the South. You can't read the label when you're sitting inside the jar.
Mm,
It's really hard to see your way out of your own situation, even if it's obvious to others. Which is why you need to ask for help, right? You need to get outside in perspectives. And so the reminder insight to me was, yes, I can't see my way out of my own situation sometimes. I got to talk to smart people that can see the jar from the outside where the label is. So thank you for that.
Thank you for playing full in. Thank you for coming in here. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be paying attention, but make sure I know when the book comes out. Like, because I want to make sure outliers have it. Like my clients have. Like, this just sounds like it is. It's fascinating. It's different. And I already see how it changes the game. And I love those counterintuitive things where like we're all looking at the same thing, but we don't recognize that there's true opportunity here. And John, I think you got something really special with it. All right. I'm glad I like go out, get this out there, and I'll be seeing you soon. All right.
All right.
Out,
Thanks, Niiamah.
yeah, stay on for one more second here. But outliers, until the next time we talk, journey on.